Hi, this is Rhonda Church Finfrock of Fruitful Life Studio, and today we are going to be making some Wordy wristlets. Here is just one version of my wire wrapped wristlet. Say that 3 times. And I will have a couple other videos coming out on different ways to wire wrap. This is my first try, my first attempt. I like the way it turned out, but again, I have some additional videos following. I want to thank Mark Montano of Make Your Mark. His channel inspired me to use a zip tie to begin my bracelet. I sized it so that it would slip easily over my wrist without being too big, and then I taped it, the ends overlapped and taped the ends down. I am overlapping it quite a bit, you see here, maybe by a couple inches, because that's the base where I will be putting my word out of alphabet plastic beads. I'm using a new ribbon that I have available in my shop, but you can easily use torn strips of fabric or cut pieces or strips from a silk shirt. You can rip pieces from denim clothing. I've made bracelets using just about anything I have laying around my house. I start with that center piece, the piece that I overlapped and taped. I am swiping the back side of the bracelet with a tacky glue, and this one is called tacky glue, but I also like to use Weld Bond. Any type of glue that's not runny or will seep through the front side of your fabric or ribbon will work. And I'm just holding it down, overlapping the wrap as I go, and you'll see I'm pulling the ribbon back through toward me to avoid that tacky glue on the underside. I don't want the ribbon to trail through that glue and make a mess. Again, I'm continuing to wrap the bracelet all the way around, putting a little bit of that tacky glue as I go in maybe 1 or 2 inch sections. If you know me, you know I'm messy, so I keep a damp shop cloth next to me to wipe my hands off so I don't get glue everywhere. In other wrapped bracelet videos that I have watched on YouTube, I have not seen anyone using glue on the underside. I like to use it just for that added security because I will be retailing or selling these bracelets. When I reach the place that I started in the bracelet, I go ahead and give it a double wrap, bit of glue, clamp it down, and now I'm ready for wiring or wire wrapping. You'll see I tucked, I don't know if you can see it, it's very small. I tucked the end of the wire underneath that ribbon and glued it down and then clamped it down just for added strength. Now I'm wrapping it around a couple times before I start adding my beads. I can tell if I don't trim off or make that wire shorter, it's going to be a big mess and get tangled up, so I'm trimming that down to a workable size. I believe the gauge of this wire is 24 gauge. Just look around your craft supplies, see what you have. You want a wire that's really easy to bend and work with. The process is really pretty simple. I just choose beads that will fit the opening will fit through the wire. I add a couple at a time and wrap it around the bracelet. When I want to start my words, I need to think about the direction that the hole in the bead has. So I need to go parallel or horizontal. So you'll see that I'm going to tuck that wire underneath the last wire so that it's changing the direction of my wire to go horizontally. Now that my wire is going in the correct direction to feed the letters on, I string the letters on the word all at one time, and then I go backwards and wrap each letter down to the bracelet so that it's secure and it has a straight alignment. The word is now on the bracelet wire, and I tucked that end back through and pulled tightly, but not too tight. Now I'm going to go back over the top in between each little letter to wrap it down in place to the bracelet. You'll see in the photos of some of my other bracelets, sometimes during this step, I will add a bead as I'm wrapping to the top or the bottom section of each letter. This one, it looks like I just kept it plain. I do prefer a metallic wire or a matching wire to my bracelets, but I used white so you can more clearly see the steps. Although again, I prefer the look of a more coordinated wire. Now, as I work around the bracelet, I add 1 or 2 or 3 beads or a charm and a bead as I wrap it over the top of the bracelet. When I am running out of wire, I snip the end about a 1/2 inch and I curl the wire with my round nose pliers, just curl that end up so it's not poking around anywhere. And then I take some flat nose pliers and press it down into the bracelet so it doesn't go anywhere and those ends aren't going to stick up and poke you. Now in my next video, I will show you a different way to end or start the wire, which is by wrapping the 2 ends and then continuing on with one end, and then the loose end I add a charm or a bead and finish that off as a dangling charm. So you see here to start my new wire, I just twirl it or coil it with the round nose pliers, press it against the bracelet, and then I wrap over that end as I continue on. I think this bracelet turned out fun and beachy, which I love, but again, I would have preferred to use a metallic or coordinating wire. In my next video, you will see a different technique of wire wrapping. I think it's a little easier than the coiling, so I hope you join me for that one. Thanks for watching and happy creating.